Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! Seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead! Behind the screen, Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Tying run at second, 2 out, Pompero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it, and to the middle of the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5.
For the 3rd time in 6 seasons, it's one goal achieved. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. Happy House Music Monday, baby, baby, baby. It's House Music Monday, and I love it. Man, oh man, oh man, what a great time. What a great weekend. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Man, if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. Excellent. All right. Listen, you can also tweet the show. Tweet us at SportsZoneShy, the CHI at SportsZoneShy. Now, if you want to follow me, I try to make it easy for you, but these hackers kept getting in the damn way. So my Facebook, which I still haven't accessed yet, is Shawn.Sierra.2025. My Twitter is ShawnSierra33, at ShawnSierra33. But Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, those are still at the Shawn Sierra. Man, we got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching this on, leave a question or comment there. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around, and that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's check the chat, because the chat is jumping. It is live. Baby, baby. Cornelius Squalls in the house. The top of the morning show on the Sports Zoners. Those clickbait tricks are driving me crazy. Now I'm hearing that the Bears are signing Clowney when camp starts. Shaking my head. I don't know, baby. I don't know. Black Diamond in the house. Top of the morning, gang. FGB. Finally, football season has come back to Chicago. Yes, it has. Yes, it is, Doctor. Mr. Southside himself, Michelle Wall. What up on the House Music Monday? And Mooney Mania is back. FGB, Southside, stand up. Yes, sirree. Hey, we talked about it the other day. We talked about it. When's Mooney going to break out? I said, I'm counting the days. And he broke out. Boy, he broke out. What a day. What a day. My man, Rick Gonzalez in the house. Hola, amigo. Bear the freak down. FGB at Visiting Wisconsin. I didn't get to Wisconsin this summer, man. I'm upset. That's funny. You guys are freaking hilarious. Listen, I don't know a lot about that, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can promise you. We got a great show, man. A great show at 10 o'clock. My man's and them, Herb Howard from the Bigs, is going to join us. We're going to talk Bears camp. It is here. Finally. Football training camp is here. The rookies reported Saturday. The veterans report tomorrow. First practice is Wednesday, I believe. So the veterans actually going to report tomorrow. And the first practice is Wednesday. So I'm fired up. We're going to have Herb on at 10 o'clock. We're going to talk about the upcoming season. his thoughts, any concerns he has. So 10 o'clock, my man, Herb Howard, the Bears beat writer for the Bigs, is going to join us. Cornelius says, Shawn still got that after party glow. So, listen, I didn't, the boat party got canceled. Okay, that was unfortunate. Yeah, I was not, but I had no, yeah. It was a situation where it had to be canceled. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. So, but I was able to go out. All right, I was out with my cousin. Big shout out to Frankie Bones, my cousin Frankie, and a big shout out to my guy Leroy Lee. All right, my guy Leroy came in. He flew in from Miami. And after I told him, I said, hey, listen, bro, I said, I will probably, I'm canceling the, I got to cancel the boat party, so if you want to, get a refund on your Airbnb and, hold a flight or, come back and visit Chicago another time. He's like, no, bro. He goes, one, I've never been to Chicago. He goes, two, you're always talking shit about how great Chicago is in the summer. He said, and three, he said, you canceled it for a reason, so I'm your guy. You probably need me, and I'll be more than happy to be there for you. And I was like, really, bro? He's like, yeah. I was like, holy shit. I was like, cool, man. Cool. So I went out and had dinner on Saturday at my buddy's steakhouse. Big shout out to my guy that I do CrossFit with, Chef Joe Flam. Big shout out to him. Was at Boulevard Steakhouse. Boulevard Steakhouse, 814, 816. If you know where the old Chromium was on Lake Street, that's like 835 West Lake Street, right off of Lake Street, Lake and Hall, off of Halsted and Lake. And man, I'll tell you, great time. This steak. I got a New York strip. I cooked it meat. I asked for a medium. Man, perfect cooking of that steak. And then my guy Leroy, you see him in the background there. My guy Leroy Lee, he was we played ball together at Holy Cross. Flew in. He's an attorney down in Miami in the 305. He played high school ball with Marvin Jones, linebacker for the Jets. They went to high school together, played ball. So yeah, so I still had my linen on. But yeah, I had a good birthday weekend. And then yesterday I did a whole lot of nothing because I didn't get into like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. It was 1 o'clock on Saturday. I was actually going to stay out later, but ended up not doing it just because I was coming back. I forgot the Karol G concert was Saturday. So I tried to take I-55 to Harlem. I was going to stop at Branding Iron for a cigar and a drink and then head home. But the traffic on I-55 was ridiculous. So I said, forget it. I got off the expressway, took the streets, and went home. I was like, man. I'm just tired. And my guy was waiting for me there, too. He was at home. I was like, hey, I'm heading up there, to Branding Iron. He's like, all right, cool. I'll meet you. So as I got off the expressway because it was literally we were crawling. I could have walked faster. I got off and I was taking the streets. I called him like, hey, bro. I said, he's like, hey, he asked me what my ETA was. I said, man, I'm going to be. He goes, I'm here already. I'm like, oh, shit, bro. I said, I was trying to catch you before you left. I just tell you, turn around, go back to the crib. I'm going to go home and I explained to him. He's like, all right, cool. So I was going to smoke a cigar on my birthday, but I didn't get to. I was just too tired. But, a good, really, really great birthday weekend. It was really chill. It was chill. It was chill, man. And 55, the double nickel. And I'm grateful for it. When I tell you, let your loved ones know you love them because tomorrow's promised to no one. Well, I don't think I mentioned it last week, or maybe I did. One of the guys at the CrossFit gym passed out last week in the middle of the class and passed away. That was insane. He's Muslim. So it happened on Tuesday. So they believe in like burying you the same day that you die. They just real fast. So it happened late in the evening. It was a 4:00 class. By the time they got him to the hospital, everything he passed, he couldn't have it that day. So they took Wednesday to let everyone know that it was going to be Thursday. So sure enough, Thursday I went to the wake, the body viewing, which is really weird. If you ever been to a Muslim wake, it was weird. We went to a room and they had him there just wrapped in a white cloth. Just, wow, it's just weird. Really weird. That was my first time at a funeral or a wake like that, at a Muslim wake, I guess. So it was wild. So I tell you, I say that to say this. Let your loved ones know you love them, man. I mean, it was literally here today, gone tomorrow for our guy Farouk. And yeah. And then another good friend of ours at CrossFit, her mom passed away the day after Farouk passed away. So I'm telling you, life is fragile. It's fleeting. Please let your loved ones know you love them, man, because God bless it. Whew. But listen, we got a great show, man. I'm fired up. Let's get a crack-a-lackin', baby. You know how we do the first segment of every show was called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
First, top of the morning topic. Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Here we go. The White Sox. The White Sox salvaged one game against the Astros with a 12-3 blowout victory yesterday over on the South Side. Eric Fetty started the game, got a no decision. 4 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. It was Parents' Day, but it was also Munetaka Murakami bobblehead day. So the White Sox, or I don't know if the White Sox did or if Mooney flew his parents in, and his parents threw out the first pitch. His dad threw to his interpreter, and his mom threw to him, to Mooney, which was pretty dope. He had not hit a homer since he'd been back from the IL. He was stuck at 20. Yesterday, Murakami went 3 for 5 with 2 home runs to bring his total to 22, drove in 6, a career-high 6 RBIs, bringing his total to 48 on the season. Miguel Vargas was 1 for 5 with a homer, his 22nd, driving in his 62nd and 63rd RBIs of the year. Chase Mydrop was 1 for 3 with a homer, his 8th, driving in his 37th run of the year. Man, no rest for the weary, because the White Sox, the next top of the morning topic, the White Sox welcome the Bronx Bombers to the South Side for a 4-game set starting tonight. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network or listen to it on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. That's 1000 AM. The probables for tonight's game for the Yankees. For the Evil Empire, Max Fried is on a bump. He's 4-3 with a 2.97 ERA. He's going up against Noah Schultz, the local youngster, who's 3-7 with a 6.04 ERA. The White Sox go into today as Cleveland got swept this weekend. The White Sox go in with a 2.5 game lead in the American League Central. How about them there apples? Not them. How about them there apples? Next topic, I want to talk about the Cubs. The Cubs cannot complete the sweep as they fall to the Pirates 8-7. Jameson Taillon was serving up batting practice. He got the loss. He's 2-6, 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 punch outs, gave up 3 home runs. Not a good day. Another not good day for Jameson Taillon, leaving his next start up in the air. Seiya Suzuki was 1 for 5, hitting a homer late in the 9th inning, his 18th homer of the year, driving in his 57th and 58th run of the year. Nico Horner was 2 for 4 with an RBI, his 44th, and PC8 was 1 for 5 with his 60th RBI of the year. Staying with the Cubs, no rest for the weary. The Cubs head down I-55 to the Lou for a 4-game set with the Cardinals. First pitch tonight is at 6:45 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 104.3 FM or 670 AM, The Score. The probable for tonight's games. David Peterson's on the bump for the Northsiders, he's 5-7 with a 5.97 ERA versus he's going up against Matthew Liberatore for the Cards, who's 5-7 with a 5.18 ERA. The next top of the morning topic is the WNBA All-Star Game was in Chicago this past weekend. And Team Witherspoon beat Team Coop, Cynthia Cooper's team, 129-122. Jonquel Jones from the New York Liberty led the way with 22 points, 13 rebounds. Alicia Gray on the Atlanta Dream had 19 points. And Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever superstar, contributed 17 points in the win. I'll tell you, so this All-Star Game set a record. This set a record for the most attended WNBA All-Star Game in history, in its history. It happened here in the Chi. I love it. Beautiful things, great things happening in the Chi. I love it. I love it. I love it. My man, Shorty, checking in. Top of the morning to you. Mr. Shorty says to everyone, Mr. Shorty, how you doing, my friend? Thank you for tuning in. Truly, truly appreciate it. Next top of the morning topic, the Bears. Training camp starts on Wednesday. The Bears rookies reported on Saturday, and the veterans report tomorrow. First practice is Wednesday. And I'll tell you what, some of the veterans are there already. I believe Caleb Williams is in the house, and some other veterans have arrived. Many veterans don't leave because sometimes there's what a lot of teams will do is they will give you a workout bonus. Okay. They give you a workout bonus. So if you stay in town and you hit, 75, 80%, whatever they deem as worthy enough, as sufficient, you get a bonus. All right? So if you stay here for the entire off-season program, so in their contracts now, if they have a workout bonus, they'll get a workout bonus, whatever it is, 100,000, 500,000, a million, whatever it is. So a lot of players stay here. A lot of players have that in their contracts, and a lot of players stay here over the summer. They might take a week off, okay, to go on vacation, okay, but yeah, so a lot of veterans are here. They're scheduled to report tomorrow. Rookies have been here since Saturday, and I am fired freaking up. Sorry, Shorty. He's like, man, I'm sad today, Shawn. I missed my dog the worst way today. I hear you, bro. I know a lot of dogs become a part of the family. They become a big part of the family, and not having them around, they have their own personalities. They bring their own energy to a family along with the personality, and it becomes intertwined in your family. And when they're gone, there's a void that's left. So I get it. King Booker World checking in. This is Shawn, Black Diamond, Cornelius, Shorty, Michonne, Rick, salute. Black Diamond, thank you for checking in, my man. I appreciate it. And camp hasn't even started yet, and a whole bunch of Bears fans are saying, what the fuck? Not again. What the fuck? Fudge crackers. The next top of the morning topic, the Bears have placed linebacker TJ Edwards on the active non-football injury list. Oh, and by the way, but wait, there's more. On the PUP list, physically unable to perform list. See if any of these names ring a bell. Linebacker Keyshawn Elliott. Defensive back Kyler Gordon. Linebacker Noah Sewell. Offensive lineman Ozzie Trapillo. Defensive lineman Shamar Turner. They're on the PUP list, physically unable to perform list. So they will miss the start of camp. Now, Kyler, you just signed a big contract last year, boss, or a couple of years ago. They need you in camp. My issue is, how do we have soft tissue injuries again? How? What are you doing? Are you doing exactly what the team doctor has ordered? You doing your own thing? Are you doing what the team doctors have ordered, the strength conditioning coach ordered, and you're still getting hurt? But what the hell is going on? Because they're going to need Kyler Gordon more than ever. He's got to be an integral part of this defense. We lost playmakers. We lost Kevin Byard in the back. We lost Nashawn Wright. We lost Charles Gardner-Johnson. We need Kyler Gordon to be a bigger piece of this defense. And now he's out missing again. I don't know about you, but hell, I'm tired of this son of a gun. All these damn soft tissue injuries. Tired of it. Tired of this crap. Rick says, don't forget about his cat people, Shawn. You must be a villain, Rick. You must be a villain. Because the only people who have cats are old women and villains. King Booker Will says, Gordon can't perform? Color me shocked. In today's news, the sky is blue, clouds are white, and I'm black. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Rick says FGB. He's laughed my ass off. FGB. Black Diamond says, I have a cat, and yes, I'm a super villain. Michelle Wall says apparently Kyler don't put in the work on his injured body. I don't know if he doesn't put in the work, but what kind of work's he putting in? That's the question. Man, I mean, year in and year out, it's always something else. A hamstring, a groin, a quad, like something, man. Stop with this nonsense. You think you're a dancer. You would think you know how to stretch properly, or you'd be into yoga or something, or they would force you into doing yoga to keep your muscles stretched and loose and avoid all these things. Like, come on, man. What the hell? That pissed me off. And it's last top of the morning topic. This came across the wire literally an hour ago. Less than an hour ago. This is insane. Not was, it is insane. Mia Bieniemy, the wife of Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, who was the Chicago Bears running back coach last year, was shot at the couple's home in Virginia. Eric was away with the Chiefs in St. Joseph, Missouri, at the Chiefs training camp on Sunday. So that is insane. When it came across the wire, I was like, holy cow. It was just unbelievable. Tough. Like, why are you shooting a football coach's wife? All right, and this is according to Nate Taylor from ESPN. It was at 8:45 Central. The article was posted. It's the wife of Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy was shot Sunday night at the couple's home in Virginia, sources told ESPN. Mia Bieniemy, 57, is hospitalized in stable condition, according to a source. Police in London County, Virginia, confirmed that a person was being treated for serious injuries, but did not disclose the person's identity. It said a Loudoun County Sheriff's Office spokesperson Leah Paul said Monday that police responded to a report of a shooting at a home located on a 20,000 block of North Park Drive in Ashburn, Virginia, 7:32 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Chief said in a statement they are aware of the incident involving Eric Bieniemy's family, but did not provide further details. Crazy. Insane. Yeah. Cornelia says, I think Kyler has lost his love for football. I think he wants to be a model. I question his commitment and his love to football. I do. Because I would make sure, especially after last year, that you'd come back in tip-top shape, healthy and ready to go, strong as an ox. But you didn't do that. Yeah, nice that they gave her address. Prayers for Mrs. Bieniemy. Yeah, thoughts and prayers go out to her, man. Holy cow. Sure, he's like, well, WTF, what the fuck? Tell you, maybe they knew that's where he lived. or trying to rob the place because they know he's at camp, so he can't be there. Maybe they thought she wouldn't be there, and it's a robbery gone bad. We don't know. I don't know. As soon as more details are given, I will pass them on to you. But that's jacked the freak up. That's jacked up, man. That's insane. I mean, if you're Eric, how do you work? Like I don't know the relationship between him and his wife, so I don't know the guys. Okay. But how do you work? Your wife's been shot. How do you work? If you're Andy Reid, you have to send him home. You have to send him home. Because what does that say about the Chiefs organization if you don't let him go home? Or not even let him go. If you don't tell him, you got to go. Go take care of your wife. Go take care of your kids. Go take care of the family. Go take care of that whole situation. Your assistant running back coach will come in. Something. There's got to be an assistant offensive coordinator because that's why he left the Bears to go back to Kansas City so he can be their offensive coordinator. So you got to have whoever the quarterback coach is has to have a decent grasp of the offense, but he can't be there. He can't be there. Because what does that say about you as an organization if you don't let him go or if you don't tell him he's got to go? What does that say about you as a man that you don't go and check on your wife in the hospital? What example are you setting to your players as young men? I'd rather be here than with my wife, the woman that for better for worse, for sickness and health, to death do us part. I'm not going to hang with her when she's been shot. You got to go. You have to leave. And don't tell me I'll be so disappointed if he's involved in it somehow, some way. When I first saw it, that was one of my first thoughts. Like, man, please don't let me know he was involved in it somehow, some way. King Booker World said, Reed's one of the few other coaches I like, and I think he has some sense, so I believe that was the first thing out of his mouth. I hope so. He does seem like a down-to-earth dude. And he's a class act. Eric's already in VA, more than likely. I thought so. I think so, too, Black Diamond. First thing that popped into my head, too, Shawn. Yeah, Eric Bieniemy. It's just a gut feeling, and I hope he's not involved somehow, some way. Got a perfect alibi, Oh, I'm in camp. Well, they didn't give the address, if I'm not mistaken. Then they said it's just a block, and I get it. Yeah, they said the home located on the 200,000 block, 20,000 block of North Drive in Ashburn. So the block, like 60, is on the 6100 block of Western. You know what I mean? They didn't give the actual address. So, yeah, they didn't give like 2037, 237, Mockingbird Lane. No, they just said on that block. So it's a whole block. But still, that's jacked up, man. Thoughts and prayers go out to her. Go out to him. If they have any kids, out to the kids, because now mom's. Whew. Again, let your loved ones know you love them, because tomorrow is promised to no one. Wish her a speedy recovery. Man. Talk a little baseball, baby. Talk a little baseball. The good guys on the South Side. I don't know if this might make your day. Thank you, Cleveland. Decided to tank. Cleveland got swept this weekend. Let me tell you something. That was awesome. That was awesome. Tampa Bay beat Cleveland 1-0 yesterday, sweeping that series. I mean, but Tampa's in first. Tampa's in first in the American League East at a 62-43 record. The Yankees, who are coming to town today, are in second place, 3 games behind. They're 59-46, while we are 55-49. However, the Yankees are without Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and Cody Bellinger is now hurt. So we got these guys for a 4-game set. We got to win at least 2. I'd say 3 out of 4. A sweep for the Yankees is a very, very daunting task, especially with the pitching that they have. They don't have a lot of hitting. But 3 out of 4 is what I would like from this series. And they're coming to the South Side, baby. Coming to the South Side. You know, Munetake Murakami, yesterday was awesome. It was Parents' Day. It was also Munetake Murakami's bobblehead day. They said they flew his parents in, or his parents were in. I don't know how they got here, either him or by the team, whatever. They threw out the first pitch, which was dope. His dad to the interpreter, and his mom to him. And he goes off and has a day. He goes off and has a day. That was something, boy. That was something. That was awesome. So we had come on, what are you doing? I'm trying to do station last week, if you recall, Gabrielle Wilkins we had this conversation last week. Here's how it went. How soon do you think before Murakami goes on a heater? Because I'm just waiting for that. I'm counting days for that joker.
I have no clue, but the one thing I like about what Murakami is doing right now, for the most part, when he's not pressing at the plate, the walks. And I think having Murakami in the lineup has benefited the other hitters greatly beside him. If I'm not mistaken, I think the White Sox are 7-2 since he's come back into the lineup. And it benefits the other guys with his presence in there, man. Just plain and simple. You seeing guys get better selection of pitches to hit when he's in. They don't really want to test Murakami.
How soon do you think before?
Yeah, I mean, when he heats up, he heats up. I think it's just a timing thing. He has to get his timing back. People don't understand when you've been off the man for what, 4 to 6 weeks, you still got to get your timing in baseball, and it takes a while. And once he gets his timing, I think sooner rather than later, you'll start to see him connect on some pitches and hit those bombs that he was hitting early on between April to May. And the White Sox offense will slowly but surely follow behind them and continue their winning ways. But, I mean, when he.
So you saw we talked about it last week. We talked about it with Gabe. And what I say? I'm like, I'm counting the days. I'm counting the days for that Joker because he is ready. It took him a while. He had a couple of outs. A few days before that, where you saw he was hitting the ball on the button, just at people. And when you're a baseball player, when you're a good baseball player, you know when you got a pitcher, you know when you're getting your timing. With every pitcher, it doesn't matter if you make it out or not. You know if you won that at bat. And the pitcher knows if he won that at bat. Because if you're able to barrel a ball up, and just get a solid contact, you won. Now, it doesn't matter if it's an out or not. Okay? Because trust me, pitchers don't want you barreling up their pitches. They don't. Because if a pitcher realizes that you're able to barrel them up, they're like, oh shit, he's got me. So you understand as a baseball hitter, as a batter, whether you won that at bat or not. It doesn't matter if you make an out. If you're hitting the ball on the button, right in the sweet spot, you won that at bat. And the pitcher knows it. And there are a couple of at bats where Murakami was hitting the ball right on the button, barreling the hell out of that thing, and it was only a matter of time. Only a matter of time. And if this guy starts going, if this mother Hubbard starts going, Munetaka Murakami starts going, and you saw Miguel Vargas hit a homer yesterday too, that was absolutely crushed. Come on now. This team is in. They're all in. The two and a half games up in the AL Central. If Munetaka, Munetaka Murakami. If Murakami starts hitting and if he gets on the same heater that he was before the All-Star break and gets 40 home runs, 20 home runs actually 18 more home runs for the rest of the season, you better watch the hell out. Because they all won't be single shots. They all won't be solo homers. I can guarantee you that. And they're gonna change the tide of some game. They might put the Sox ahead if it's a 3-run homer, 2-run homer, or lead. If the team cuts it to 1, boom, he extends the lead by 1 run or 2 runs or 3 runs. I'm excited for what he's gonna do and what the White Sox are gonna do because they followed him. Like he was their Pied Piper. And everybody stepped up when he was gone, but now you got your leader back. And now these guys are more confident. So once the leaders takes the reins again, and these guys are more confident, watch out. I say the Sox go after an arm. I say they already made a move. Urquidy. Urquidy is a right-handed pitcher from Pittsburgh. They traded for. I think it's a bullpen arm. I hope. But I'd go in on a pitcher. Need a starting pitcher. I know Tariq Skubal is the man of the hour, tower of power, but I don't know if they want to give up a lot of the prospects that they have. Okay, I don't. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. If you get Bob Nightingale wrote, he said the Sox wanted a pitcher, an arm, and not give up anything. Well, gee, wouldn't everybody? According to Bob Nightingale. But according to oh goodness. I just lost his name. He does in the dugout with David Hall. Oh, goodness. On the clubhouse. Bruce Levine. I'm sorry. Bruce Levine. He said that the Sox are willing to give up one of their top prospects if they get a good pitcher, a quality pitcher with control. Like not a rental. Like at the end of the year, he's a free agent. If they got a year or two of control after this season, they'd be willing to give it up, which they should. So, well, listen. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, my man's in there. Herb Howard is going to join us. We're going to talk Bears football. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. I'm going to talk to my man Herb about that on the other side of the break, so don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago.
911, operator 901. Where's the emergency?
127 Brymere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushroom.
You know you've called 911. This is an
Do
emergency
you
line.
know how long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Okay, is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
They jump the ball, they go quick. Stafford's looking end zone. Throws it up top. It's knocked away by Stevenson, who's having a terrific game as well. Bring him in. But still 2 for 8. And now he's pressured. Escapes, looks to take off. Got away from the tackle. Williams got a downfield block. There goes Caleb to the 37-yard line. With the 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning here. See what they do. Inside run Williams. That's a big play. Back behind the line of scrimmage. End of game. They'll run down here. Swift opening. DeAndre Swift inside the 20 to the 19. It's a gain of 13 yards. Bears in the red zone. Command in motion. Williams drifting, sprinting for space, in all kinds of trouble. Put it up for grabs to the end zone. He got it for the touchdown. They've done it again. Unbelievable!
My favorite part of that whole clip is Chris Collinsworth going, because there's nothing to say. As a color commentator, when you have nothing to say, they're like, they did it again for the umpteenth time. I know it was the 7th time, but for the umpteenth time, they did it again. Man, welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of NBC. That was the last Bears game we saw. That closed out the season last year. A lot of unfinished business, so to speak. And it was a long off season. But I'll tell you what, it was a lot shorter with our White Sox, my Sox fans, with them doing so well. Okay, it shortened the expectation. Don't get me wrong, we still miss football, but man, when our White Sox were doing it, it made it a lot more palpable to deal with the summer. But now it's back. And my guest today, I'm fired up to have him. He's back from a world tour of subcontinents. Oh, he's back on the beat. He's ready to go. Man. He's the beat writer for the Bigs. You can find him on Twitter at Herb Howard 411. Let's bring him in. My man's in there. Herb Howard. Herb, what's up, dog? How you doing?
What's happening, brother? How you feeling?
I'm good, bro. I am doing well, man. Doing very, very well. And they're back. I should have queued up the bus boys. The boys are
They back in
back.
town, man. Let's go. They back in town. The guys got moved in. The rookies and the Qs showed up Saturday. The vets here. So it's time, man. It's time.
It really is. I am like you, I assume, are looking forward to this season. Your thoughts? Obviously, it's going to revolve around Caleb and Ben's relationship. What do you want to see from Caleb this year? He's not learning a new offense anymore. Okay, he's comfortable with it. All right, now he just gets the bill. So, what are you expecting? What do you want to see from him in camp as preseason goes on, but mainly in the regular season? What growth do you want to see from Caleb from last year to this year?
It's the simple stuff, man. It's the layups. Just make the layups, bro. Nobody's asking you to, that Rams play. Obviously, that's gonna live forever in history. I'm not asking you for that. I mean, that's cool that you could do that. We know you can pull that out if you need to, but let's not need to. That's a Rams offense that came in high-powered, one of the top offenses in the league, MVP quarterback, Puka, Devontae. They got the tight ends, they got the running game. That defense, Bears defense, helped them to 17 points through 4 quarters. At your house, you got to win that game. You got an LA team on the road, 17 points at your crib. You got to win that game, right? It's cool that you put it out the end, but let's already have some points on the board already. Let's not need a last second, fourth down, 50-yard pass for an 8-yard touchdown. Like let's not need that. You know what I mean? And so I just want to see make the simple plays, make the layups early in the game so that we don't need the heroics later in the game. It's exactly what you hear from Coach Johnson when he's talking about Caleb reaching that elite status in the National Football League amongst quarterbacks. It's got to be up around 70%, and he talks about it. When I talked to Coach down in Arizona at the owners meetings, he was just like, "Look, man, it's very simple." He's got to be able to hit the throws out there. He's like, it's 80 or 90 throws. As he goes back over the tape from last year, 80 or 90 throws that, should be completed. That'll increase his completion percentage right there. That keeps your team on the field. That keeps you in control of time possession. All of those things are in your favor to where you don't need the late game heroics. It's phenomenal that Caleb can do that. I don't want to see that much of it this coming season.
I agree with you. That was my biggest criticism of him last year was, for whatever reason, he would miss those short throws, the dump offs, the DJ Moores underneath, the DeAndre Swift in the backfield, or out swinging out, all those little ones. You make those, and not counting the drops. You make those. First of all,
not counting the drops. That's what Coach Johnson said. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's what Coach Johnson said. He's like, I'm not talking about drops now, because everybody talks about the drops, and that was a problem. You can talk about wide receiver drops and tight end drops. That was an issue, no problem. But Coach wasn't talking about the drops. He's talking about reading, going through your progressions properly, and delivering the ball on time with accuracy. And that can get Caleb to the 70%. So, listen, Caleb is clearly the guy. He's got to take that next step and put it on his shoulders to play well early. We know he's going to play well late. He's calm as he can be when the game is at its most pressure moments, but just come out that way. We don't need to be down 14, 17. We don't need that. Like, just come out early, set the tone, and put people away.
Give me your thoughts. This just came up to me right now. Mark Schlereth would be with a lightning rod for criticism when he came out and talked about Caleb Williams not being a good quarterback. Your thoughts on that, and how much validity did he have in making that statement?
I mean, Stank's been doing it for a long time, so he obviously has some credibility. You talk about a guy who played with John Elway, one of the best to ever do it. That being said, I think in these times, people struggle with nuance, man. And so, he's talking about, playing the quarterback position and how it can traditionally be played. And to that point, he has some validity in what he's saying. But when you hear him say, "Oh, he's not a good quarterback," then that's just the headline, and people go off and like, "How can he not be a good quarterback?" We all know that's not true. He is a good quarterback. But you talk about his ability to manage the game, and I know that has some type of negative connotation on it. It's taboo. Nobody wants a game manager. I do. You know what I mean? Like, I do. And if your game manager has some special in him, which Caleb clearly does, that's even better. but manage the game a little bit better. I think that's what Stink was talking about. I didn't dive too deep. I didn't watch the whole thing to get the full context of it, but I think he was speaking more of the mechanics, taking those layups like we were talking about earlier, getting in and out of the huddle. Those are things we want to see get taken care of right off the bat in training camp this year. We know last year in training camp, they struggled to get lined up, right? They got to keep sitting back in the huddle. They're getting all these pre-snap penalties. I don't want to see that this training camp. I want to see them getting in and out of the huddle quick, be very fluid, snap the ball with, plenty of time left on the play clock. Too often we see it get down to 2-1. They're trying to get it off. Get off to the line of scrimmage, get set. Those are the types of things that good quarterbacks are able to do. I think that, as much as anything, is what Mark Schleff was talking about.
I agree, and everyone went crazy, and I understood it because the fact that his percentage was low, not talking the drops, but again, refusal to take the layups. Because then for me, the ideal thing would be the way Patrick Mahomes or Joe Montana or Tom Brady would orchestrate a drive, opening drive. There were times where we see Tom Brady not throw a ball more than 15 yards. Give me a slant, give me a hurt, give me a hitch, give me a quick out, give me
because it's 2nd and 6, and then it's 3rd and 2, and then it's 1st down again. Like it's just bing, 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 and then we keep matriculating the ball down the field.
and then what happens there is the defense gets tired, not just physically, but emotionally. They get tired.
And emotionally, yep.
Yeah, they're like, damn, not at 32, we got to get it. Damn, we got to stay out again. And now we don't, and to your point, now we won't have to come back in the 4th quarter because we go down and we score. We go down and we put the ball in the end zone, at least 3, but we put the ball in the end zone, and that takes a toll on a defense when there's a lot of 3rd down conversions, physically and emotionally, it's backbreaking. So I think that's what he's talking about. And if Caleb can do that, oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. It's going to be a nasty team to mess with offensively. I don't care what kind of schedule they got, because give me your thoughts on strength of schedule when everyone says, "Oh, well, the Bears got a tougher strength of schedule this year," and blah 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 blah. Give me your thoughts before I give you mine. I don't want to jade you in any way or shade you in any way.
Yeah, it's not a lot of easy wins in the National Football League. The schedule is what it is, and so now you're playing a quote unquote first place schedule. Well, last year they played a last place schedule, but I looked at that schedule and I was like, they still got some tough teams on this schedule. Now they got lucky last year too. They missed, I think, 6 starting quarterbacks last year, and so you played a lot of backup quarterbacks, and so listen, each NFL season is unique unto itself. So you come in and you think this team is going to be good and they be terrible. You think this team is going to be terrible and they surprise and make a run. So
Bears.
Bears. Exactly. So, how many teams counted the Bears as a win on their schedule last year? And they go out and they win 11 games. So whatever. You know what I mean? I think you got to play the games. And I think that's what's brilliant about Coach Johnson is he treats each game as its own separate entity. What do we need to do to beat this team this week? It's not, oh, this is our identity. This is what we want to do. We want to be this. We want to be that. We are going to be whatever we need to be this week. And so if that's running 50 times, that's what you're going to see. If it's throw it 50 times, that's what you're going to see. I'm not really concerned about the schedule. You always want to look and see what quarterbacks you play, and they play some good ones. But they were supposed to play a lot of good ones last year. It didn't really happen. You just got to kind of let the season play out. At the end of the day, you're talking about a team who was in the divisional round of the playoffs last year. So if you start that as the base, and I know you got to start all over. I'm not saying that's where they are. But if you're saying if that's the minimum in terms of having a successful season this year, then eventually you got to beat some good teams anyway. So it don't mix me with that. Either you good or you not.
Yeah, I always have an issue with it when people start complaining about they have a first place schedule. They got this. How many people thought Baltimore was going to be as bad as they were? And even though we lost to the Ravens still, how many people thought? You know what I mean? And every year is different. No roster ever stays the same 2 years in a row. So you don't know. And the team just might have a bad year. The star player might have a bad season, might have a bad game. So when people say, "Oh, they play a tougher schedule," I'm not even trying to hear that because you don't know that week what's going on. You just don't know. Right. And so I'm thinking I got them, and I know I'm probably jumping the gun here, but I got them at probably like 11 wins again. I have them there. It's going to be tough, but this offense is better. This offense, it should be more in sync. This offense should be a lot simpler to understand and execute. So last year we talked about pre-snap reads, post-snap reads. Well, guess what? Caleb had a whole year of that. Now he should be getting better, and that should be a lot smoother. Your thoughts on letting my man go, and now Rome and Luther Burden got to fight and step up. Your thoughts on those two in the passing game? How effective do you think that's going to be? With DJ Moore gone, with Rome Odunze struggling at the end of the year, and the emergence of Colston Loveland being a big time target, leading the team in receptions last year, or yards, I should say.
Yeah, yeah. The business of football is tough sometimes, and that's just what happened with DJ Moore. I mean, the Bears needed to create some cap space, and that was the most efficient way for them to do it. And they had afforded themselves the ability to do so in drafting Rome, Luther, Colston, and those guys stepping up and developing as quickly as they did. And so, certainly wasn't a surprise. Hate to see it. DJ was one of my favorite players on the team. I mean that on the field, off the field. Like I really rock with DJ. So wasn't happy to see him go, but I certainly understood it. And now it's just time for the next guys to step up, right? You talk about Colston leading them in yards last year. You have 4 guys with 650 plus receiving yards last year, including DJ, Luther, and Rome. And so you got to be able to, pick up the fill the void in terms of what DJ was able to bring last year. And they should be able to do that. You know what I mean? You talk about Colston Loveland taking that next step, Luther Burden, Coach. I'm already buying stock in Luther Burden. And I believe it. You look at how he's been working out, the tapes he's been putting out, the things he's had to say, but also just his demeanor, his
Energy,
ability.
his
Yeah, like
persona. Hell yeah,
he
he's a
he
goat.
he
He's a
just like
straight
that.
up dog.
He just like that. He just one of those dudes that's just like that. And so I expect him to be every bit the player that he thinks he can be and that Coach Johnson thinks he should be. And so I'm not really concerned about it. I know there was some concern about Rome coming out and talking about, the new normal with his foot and all of that. I get it. That's cool. That's his truth. But I'm not concerned about his ability to go out there and produce. I think they should be able to complement each other very well. I think they have complementary skill sets. And then you got that dude, Colston Loveland out there, and he's just a problem. Like he's a problem. You can line him up out wide. You can put him in line. You can do so many different things with him. And then that opens up things for everybody else as well. And then you got that running game that they want to lean on. Be clear, like Coach wants to be close to 50-50 run pass. And so, if they can get the run game going, that's obviously going to open up things. You create some mismatches, and that's how you get the situations that you're looking for. When that Green Bay game, when they need the 2-point conversion and they went big and the Packers responded with their heavy defensive package, and then the Bears split them out wide. You got Colston one-on-one with like the 4th linebacker. That's cookies. That's over with. Like, so those types of things is what's going to allow them to be productive in the passing game. I'm not really concerned about the loss of DJ in terms of their ability to produce. Like I said, DJ was one of my favorite players, but I'm not concerned about his absence being a reason that they don't produce.
Guys, we're joined by Herb Howard. He is the Chicago Bears beat writer for the Bigs. We're talking Bears football here on ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. Yeah, DJ was my favorite player. I had his jersey. Man, that hurt me. He worked his football camp, so just he and you know what? He was just a real cool dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
for sure.
And you know how of course you do, because you're there every day. I was just there once a week, but just he was a cool dude. And when you see people like that, you hear what he did in Buffalo about the t-shirts?
Nah. Oh yeah, bought them all out the store, told him to give them to the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is quintessential DJ Moore. Just like give them away. You know what I mean? And I just thought that was dope. Because them shirts are like $25, $30 for a t-shirt. It's like, here,
sure.
I'll pay for them all and just give them away. And a good way to ingratiate himself with the fans. But that's who he is.
They don't love him out there in Buffalo.
Man.
And they have the new stadium. They opened up a new stadium. They got DJ out there now. And the Bears got to go there. The Bears gonna pull up there. And it's funny, I asked Tyreek Stevenson about it. I don't know, in the spring, about going out there to play DJ, because he had talked about in his press conference, Reek was saying, that he's grown up a lot and going against DJ one-on-one, and his rookie year, DJ would get on him and whoop him, and then he got better. And so I was like, what you gonna do when you get out to Buffalo? Like, what you gonna do when you got to guard DJ in Buffalo? And he like, oh, we gonna strap him up, no problem. I'm like, oh, okay, sound good. So I was really just messing with Reek. I didn't think nothing about it. I get home later that day, and DJ messaged me like, "Why you starting shit, bro?" I'm like, "I ain't starting nothing." First of all, why are you still watching Bears press conferences? Go sit down, man. So it'll be fun. He's just a fun dude like that. Definitely gonna miss him being around, and looking forward to that Bears-Bills game in Buffalo.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. You did mention the run game. I'm excited for it, dude. You know me, a former running back. I love when they punch you in the mouth and stop me if you can. I dare you to stop me. And talk to me about the left tackle position, because that's a key thing. Caleb's blind side, but also to talk to me about the center position.
Yep.
Right, Drew Bellman retired. Right, they got Garrett Bradbury, but they also drafted Logan Jones, and that's a dude that started at Iowa as a freshman. And for those people who don't understand, Iowa is an offensive lineman factory. It's like Iowa, Ohio State, Nebraska, and Michigan. Those are offensive lineman factories. And for you to come in and start 4 years you start as a freshman at center, the most important position on that offensive line as a freshman, speaks volumes for you as a player. Your thoughts on this run game, and particularly the offensive line with the left tackle and the center position being up in the air.
Yeah, that's what's got to come together. It's got to come together quickly. I think sometimes people underestimate how important that center position is, and the chemistry with the quarterback, and also just making sure we're seeing the game the same exact way. When we walk into the line of scrimmage, we got 5-6 seconds to make sure you see exactly what I see, and then we communicate that out to everybody else in terms of getting this thing blocked up and protected. And so they got to get on the same page quickly. They obviously go get a veteran, Garrett Bradbury. He's a center for a Super Bowl team last year, so obviously he can get it done, at an adequate level. But obviously the Bears didn't think that was their long-term answer, because they won the draft and they said, hold on, this kid coming out of Iowa, like you said, you talk about coming out of Iowa, the pedigree is there. You understand exactly what you're getting. This is a guy who knows the game, knows football, loves the game. He's been taught at the highest level. And so I think probably sooner than later, if he is who we expect him to be, I don't know how long they're going to be able to keep him on the bench, right? Because the projection is that he's going to have a better career than Gary Bradbury, right? That's certainly the projection. So now how quickly does that happen? How soon can you see him come into that type of player? And I think we're going to find out pretty early when the pads come on. I'm not saying he's going to be a week one starter, but if he's able to show himself capable of digesting the offense, making the calls, making the checks, and then holding up physically, I don't know how long Garrett Bradbury is going to hold him off. And I think it would probably behoove the Bears, if he's going to be your center going forward, to get him going as soon as you think he's ready. You know what I mean? Not to the detriment of Caleb or the offense in general, but if you think he's ready, middle of the season, let's go. So they don't have to relearn again next year, because he's going to be the guy. So as soon as he's ready, I'll say get him ready. At left tackle, there's some question marks. It just is what it is. Braxton Jones, to me, is the leader in the clubhouse, if you will. He struggled last year, right? He's coming off the injury. He wasn't able to win the job outright in camp. I don't think that position ever got settled down. Ozzie Strapillo came in there. He did okay for you for a little while. You got the Canadian Eagle. He comes in, he does his thing a little bit for a little while, but you never really heard a sense of comfort from Coach Johnson about what was happening at the left tackle spot. And so they go in, they bring back Braxton, they sign Jedrick Wills. So they make some investments there, but I think you still got a lot of bodies and without any sure answers. I think that it's going to be Braxton, and I think Braxton should play well. The Bears don't have an all-pro left tackle on their roster. They just don't. And that's okay, because they got an all-pro left guard and they got an all-pro right tackle, and Jonah Jackson played at a Pro Bowl level last year as well. And so they should be fine, but they got to figure those things out. I think you want to see Braxton Jones come in and nail that thing down pretty early in camp. I don't want to see him, rotating with, Karan Amagaji and Jedrick, and I don't want to see that too deep in the camp. By week 2, I kind of want to see that thing get settled down. Here's the guy. He's getting the first team reps, and we rolling.
Okay. I hope Jedrick Wills wins that job.
First round pedigree.
You don't get drafted in the first round as an offensive tackle unless you have some special traits.
He was out of the game though last year. That don't concern you a little bit?
It concerns me a minute amount, because the one thing he said was he took a year off to heal his body. And to me, that maturity says a lot to me, because again, first of all, coming out of Alabama, you got a pedigree. All right, just
Yeah,
getting
that's facts.
a scholarship to Alabama. You got a pedigree.
Fact.
First round. All right, getting drafted in the first round.
That's why I
And
have my eye on Proctor too, but that's another story.
yeah. If we can get him, he could be our left tackle for the next 6-8 years, and he won't cost that much because he's a reclamation project, I would imagine.
Mhm.
I think Braxton can still go on to another team and be really, really more than serviceable. Because I was watching on Twitter the other day that run 2 years ago where he pulls and just knocks the hell out of 33 on the Packers, just spins him around like a cartoon. And it just, I love his athleticism. But if we can get a first round left tackle, someone like that, man, I mean either one. But I hope Jedrick Wills can win it, and I'm anxious to see. I heard that Braxton Jones got a little bigger.
Yeah.
Put on some meat. I'm like, okay, just don't lose your athleticism, because you're never going to be a mauler. You're going to be a get out and run. You're going to be that athletic tackle. And when we get out and run, which we love to do, Calvin Ungai and DeAndre Swift going to need you knocking people out like you did that 33 character on the Packers. So
yeah, well, Braxton is always going to be his lower body, right? He just doesn't have a naturally large frame on his lower body.
Yeah.
His legs, his backside, he's not big down there.
That dude, yeah.
And yeah, when you want to anchor against some of those bull rushes and stuff like that, it's just a little bit tough for him. And he's tall, he's got to get down there. So that's always going to be an issue for him. His athleticism, his IQ is what allows him to play at a pretty high level for a fifth round pick. You know what I mean? For a fifth round pick out of Southern Utah to come in, be a starter 3-4 years, and then come back on another 1 year deal. So we'll see. I'm listen, Jedrick Wills, he certainly has the pedigree. When I saw him in the spring, and I put very little stock into what I see in the spring with world-class athletes running around in shorts and t-shirts, I put even less stock into what I see in the spring when you talk about linemen without pads on. That being said, just looking at him, I was like, dude, he's big. he's big, and he looks athletic, and like he's got this visor he was wearing in practice, and I looked out there at him and saw that 71, and for a second it just gave you a quick Trent Williams vibe. Now, obviously, Trent Williams is one of the best of his generation. I'm not saying that about Jedrick Wills, but when I just looked at him, saw the 71, the visor, I was like, damn, he looks like Trent Williams. Can you go play a little bit like that? Can you go be something like that? So listen, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to see from him. I think the Karan Amagashi experiment is probably close to being over. The Bears don't think so. Ryan Poles doesn't think so. But you draft Ali Trapillo, you bring back Braxton, you go get Jedrick. Like, I don't know where Karan fits into this thing yet. I think there's a world where he doesn't make this roster. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, but I think there's a world where maybe he doesn't. With Ozzy Trapillo being out probably the majority of the year, maybe he still does make it. But if Jedrick is the player that you think he can be, if Braxton performs the way I think he can, they're going to continue to. Yeah, they like it's. I don't know.
You want to bump him in? You want to bump him in? You back up.
I haven't seen them do that yet. I haven't seen that happen. I haven't seen that happen. I know they like Jordan McFadden. He started in the division game in the playoffs. So like, can he do it? I don't know.
Yeah, I just worry about Karan Amagashi. It's just like you said, a numbers game, and if he can move him in, because he is pretty athletic. He's an athletic guy, and if you're going to have guys pulling and moving, that's the kind of guy you want. But
maybe he can be a left guard of the future.
It could be. It could be. Defensively, we lost a lot of people. We lost a lot of interceptions. We lost Byard. We lost Nashawn Wright. We lost Tremaine Edmonds. We lost like 95% of our picks from last year.
So,
talk to me about the additions. They got Kobe Bryant, not Mamba, but they got Kobe Bryant. Thieneman is a playmaker from Purdue, his days at Purdue to Oregon. Your thoughts? They signed the linebacker that really, I can't even think of the dude's name, the real fast one from the Saints, was it?
Yeah, from Michigan, Devin Bush.
All right. So talk to me how you feel about this defense. From Cleveland, right? How do you feel about this defense, this new defense, with the loss of all those playmakers, a lot of those turnovers or takeaways? gone with those players.
Yeah, takeaways are huge, man. They took the ball away at a really, really high rate last year. That's hard to replicate. You know what I mean? It's hard to say, oh, we're gonna do that again. And so would you have liked to see Kevin Byard come back? Certainly I would have. I know that Ryan Poles wanted him to come back as well. It didn't necessarily work out. And I think that um looking at the deal that he got with New England, I think that Kevin Byard and his camp maybe over projected what they thought his market value would be.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
then by the time they realized that it wasn't as high as they hoped, the Bears had already pivoted and brought in Kobe Bryant. And so I think they just kind of got their wires crossed on that. But that being said, I think Kobe Bryant is a really, really good player. I think he's a very versatile piece that you can use in a multitude of ways. He can play the deep middle for you. He can come down into the box. You can put him in the slot. He's got corner experience as well. And so he can cover by himself. He's more physical than you give him credit for. Just kind of looking at him, but you put on the tape and you see him coming down like a heat-seeking missile, on some of those swing plays where he runs that alley really, really well. He's not afraid to fill in there. So I think he's a really good player. I love his demeanor. Everything that you've seen from him and heard him since he's been here, it's been like, oh, I like where his head is and how he views the game. And so I think that's a really, really good piece. And then you go get Dylan Thieneman, who's another versatile guy. And I think your ability to utilize that versatility is going to be really, really good for DA. DA likes to do a multitude of things on defense if he's able to. But when you got Kevin Byard, pure free safety, Jaquan Brisker, pure strong safety, there's not a whole lot of games you can play right there. You don't want Jaquan left alone deep center too often, right? It's not what you want. I love Jaquan.
We saw it and got burned.
Yeah, another one of my favorite players on the team. Love Jaquan. Want nothing but the best for him. But him deep middle by himself is not ideal. Now you got two guys who could play deep middle by themselves, and that allows you to play a lot of games with the opposing quarterback and coordinator in terms of what you're going to be in, what it's going to look like. Then you go add speed at the linebacker level. Devin Bush is fast. He's not that big, and that 12 is weird. He's going to wear number 12, and it's weird seeing number 12 out there at linebacker.
Wall Robinson, shit.
Yeah, it's weird seeing that, but I think that's what he's going to wear. And whatever. But he's got a lot of speed. He can read and diagnose. He gets downhill. He's a sure tackler when he gets there. So I think they like that. You got to bank on the health of TJ Edwards. TJ Edwards is a phenomenal player. I think he's one of those guys who's gotten the absolute most out of his ability. And he works hard. He's a professional. He's able to read and react in a way that allows him to play much faster than he actually is if you timed him in a 40. But I love TJ out there on the field. He's a great leader for the team as well. And then you bring back DeMarco Jackson, who had a really good season while the Bears were dealing with the injuries, including TJ Edwards last year. And so I think they feel good about where they are at linebacker right now. Jack Sanborn comes back, still got Hippolyte and some other guys that they believe in. But team speed was the emphasis that DA was talking about coming into this offseason. They certainly improved the team speed when you go get Kobe Bryant, Dylan Thieneman, and Devin Bush.
Yeah, they really did. And it's I said it earlier, and I think we have to get used to specific picks because people say, well, he's not the top rated quarterback. He's not the top rated corner, top rated safety.
It's a brand new day, ain't it?
And it's like, but you're dealing with people in Ben Johnson and DA, Dennis Allen, who know whose offense and defense is theirs. They know what they need. So this guy might be higher rated, but the second or third or fourth guy might be the perfect fit for someone in that thing. And we're like, why did you take him? Like a lot of people said, oh, why did you take that Tyler Warren? Tyler Warren's the best tight end. Tyler Warren. But let's not forget, where the hell was Ben Johnson before here? In Detroit, in Michigan. He got to see Colson Loveland like every week if he wanted.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is a guy who fits my system. Tyler, with this, no disrespect to Tyler Warren.
Yeah.
This guy fits my system. And we as fans got to say, okay, they're going after specific needs to fit specific roles. Not just, oh, he's the first one. He's the best player in the draft. And sometimes the best player in the draft might not be the best player for your specific system. And that's what we have to get used to.
It's a brand new day in Chicago as Bears fans, right? We're not used to being at that spot where we can draft for specific needs. We're trying to find our best players still most of the time, right?
Yeah.
Now we know who our best players are. We got our stars, we got our studs, we got our guys who we expect to lead us. But we've got critical positions that we need to fill. And so you talk about we third round, we're gonna draft our third tight end. Yep, because we need a third tight end.
Dude, I
We
love
utilize
that pick,
13
bro.
personnel.
I love that pick.
I listen. I understand the trepidation. I understood a little bit of the pushback on it. I think I was on the score when they made the pick, and I was like, I don't. That's surprising to me. And then you put on the tape and you watch the kid and you figure out where he's going to fit in. It's like, oh no, that's a brilliant move. That makes a ton of sense for what the Bears want to do now and even going on into the future. And so those are the types of picks you look at. Xavier Thomas, like, oh, wait, we're gonna draft a specialist in the third round too. And first of all,
He
again,
came
it's just
out and showed he's more than just a
yeah,
one-dog trick pony.
he looked more of a polished receiver than I expected him to look. That was in the spring, no pads, yada yada yada. But just watching his fluidity, watching his natural hands, he wasn't fighting the ball on the passes. He made some good catches, and the speed is insane. I'm sure everybody's heard about it, but it was just one play in the spring. They threw him a bubble screen out to the left, and like, he just darts through and shot out of the catch. Like, oh no, that's a different level of speed. Like that 4.2 looks different than any. You guys got 4.3 and 4.4, and they all great athletes. But you see a guy who can come in there and drop a 4.2 and do it on the grass. It's like, hey, you could see that was a different level of speed. So I'm expecting some things out of him. Again, he's another guy that they had a very specific need for. They identified him. They got him. Let's see what it is.
You know what I see with him? I see what
Yeah, Shorty, it does feel great. It's
The,
different though.
I see what Christian Watson did to C.J. Garner-Johnson last year. All right, they lined him up in the slot. He did a little boop, boop, and then just ran across the field. They cleared him out on the opposite side, ran across the field. C.J. Garner-Johnson couldn't stay with him. Ran through a 5-yard pass. A massive up the sideline touchdown. You know what? Beep beep. I'm out. And I see a lot of that with him. I see a lot of over routes with him, like clearing out, like, oh shit, is it a cover 2? Like, oh shit, what, crosser. You're looking at him, you got someone else coming up. I'm looking at Ben. I could see Ben sitting like freaking Dr. Evil, like,
oh man,
with his bald cat.
Man, you already know how he is. I think he's gonna get a lot of work out of the backfield too. And I don't necessarily mean traditionally line him up at running back. He may get a little bit of that, but I mean, some jet sweeps, some end arounds, some bubble screens. I think those types of things is like, I think he's gonna get 70 touches this year total, kicking game and offense. 70 chances for a guy with 4.2 speed to hit his head on the goalpost. And I think if he's get those 70 touches and you can get him out in space, he's going to get you 3, 4, 5 really explosive plays throughout the season that could win you a ball game here or there. And I think that's what they're looking for from him. I think half of his touches on offense may come behind the line of scrimmage. And that's fine too. And then and you set that up once, and then it sets up everything else. You go back to that wild card game against the Packers, and the bubble screen, they set it up like they were going. They hit Luther with it early, and they set it up again, and everybody jumped, and DJ's wide open down the left sideline. So those are the types of things you can do once you establish an ability to do those other things. And I think Xavier Thomas is going to be a guy who, like you said, Ben Johnson is going to love finding ways to utilize his ability, which is certainly pure speed, but also he can catch the ball in traffic, and he's stout. Like, he's not a big guy, but he's stout, and he's going to be able to
legs. He got some ass on him. Like, he's not a boop, and he falls over.
When you talk about throwing those screens out there, you got that one guy that's trying to run through there and try to trip him up. That's not going to work. You know what I mean? Or you're trying to bump him out of that. That's not going to work. So they're going to utilize him.
I'm really excited. Talk to me about that defensive line. One of the guys, my guy Cornelius, wants to know your thoughts on Jaden Loving and undrafted free agent, and Jordan Vandenberg, the Vanilla Gorilla, they call him, kid out of South Africa, and whose idol, he said, was Grady Jarrett. and now
Yeah.
he's on the same team with him. And talk about a childhood dream coming true. You get to be mentored and taken under the wing by your childhood idol. Talk to me about those two guys on the defensive line.
Vandenberg, he was slow off the ball in the spring, and that's not something that you don't necessarily expect from a young defensive lineman making that jump. What was impressive about him is that even though he was slow off the ball, he had the athleticism to then recover, right? So he's losing first, and then he's got the athleticism to recover, whether that's get flat and then get down the line and get involved in the tackle, or it's whether he's able to reposition himself and stay, keep his gap integrity. And so you can see the athleticism. He's got to get a little bit faster off the ball, and I think that's just it's a lot of thinking, man. You come in there, you thinking. You get the play call, you try to get to the line of scrimmage, you're trying to get set. Where am I thinking? And then boom, the ball snaps. You're just a little late off of it. And so I think once it slows down for him, you're going to be able to see his athleticism kind of just take over, and you'll start to see him make some plays. I'm not looking at this thing all pie in the sky like they got some Pro Bowl defensive tackle in the 6th, 7th round. I don't know that to be true. But I do think he has some traits that are good. I think he's got the right football makeup, which is always important. Um, and the Bears, they're very particular about the guys they're bringing in terms of their temperament, in terms of what type of people they are, what type of football character that they have. Ryan Pohl said this was the smallest list of draftable players that they've ever had because they were very strict about who they were crossing off the board and why. Like, if they don't fit perfectly into our system and our culture, they weren't on the board as being draftable players. And so he obviously fits in there. I'm excited to see what it's going to be for him, but I think it's going to take him a little bit of time for the game just to slow down just a bit and allow him to kind of play freely. With Loving, that dude, he is he's one of the more impressive people I've seen physically, just looking at him. I'm talking about not just standing still. I was like, who the hell is that kid? And he's so solid, and he looks like he should be an immovable object. And I can't wait to see what that looks like when the pads come on, because he's short, so he's got the leverage, he's got the pad level, and he is tree trunks for legs, big in his upper body. He should be a guy who I think could factor into this defensive line conversation. I really do. And I mean, let me be clear. This is 100% off of me just looking at the kid, right? It's just 100% off what he looks like. Because again, I just don't put a whole lot into, spring ball when you talk about linemen. So not a whole lot in terms of that. His get off seems to be adequate. That's the only thing you can really see with those defensive linemen at that stage. Seems to be adequate. Got to find out if he can actually hold up when those passes get on, because he looks like he should be a problem.
Last question before I let you go, man. As always, I appreciate your time, and don't forget, again, guys, we're joined by Herb Howard. Yeah, I know it goes by too fast when we start talking. We're joined by Herb Howard. He's the Bears beat writer for the Bigs, and we're talking Bears football here on ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. That defensive end position wasn't addressed in the offseason, probably to the liking of many fans. How comfortable are you with this defensive end group going in? People are expecting a big step up from Austin Booker. Dio Dengbo's back. Is Kevin Hardy back? I mean, how are you looking? Give me your thoughts on the defensive end position when they really didn't make a big splash in there this year.
Yeah, I'm no more comfortable with it than anybody else is. I mean, they weren't highly productive last year, and they didn't make any significant investments into it this year. I, too, believe that Austin Booker is going to take the next step. I think he's continued to take step after step throughout the time that he's been here. I thought he was a really good pick a year early, kind of had a bit of a red shirt year where he's learning on the job at the NFL level as opposed to playing one more college year. And I think we kind of got to see him start to produce. It was unfortunate that he came out with the injury, because he was playing really, really well throughout training camp and into the preseason. And then once he got healthy later on in the season, you could see that impact. You start to see offenses kind of shift some attention towards him, give him a little chip here or there, give him a little double team if they needed to. So I think he takes another step and continues to develop and be a really, really good pass rusher for them. Other than that, they're hoping, right? We understand what Montez is. He's a guy who's capable of dominating the game. You don't see it consistently enough, if you ask me. But if you watch the tape, you can see him impacting the game on a down in, down out basis. You want to see him kind of just take over games and dominate more often. And you don't see that from him. He's a double digit sack guy, and that's cool. But you want him to be that multiplier that he was when he first got here. And you haven't really seen that to the level that I think he's still capable of. But I think it's also going to be a collective thing, right? And I mean the collective from better coaching, which they've talked about, collective as an entire defense, but also a collective as an entire team. Go back to what we started the conversation on, Shawn. If the offense comes out, plays well, establishes a lead, plays with ball control, that makes the
Different game.
opposing offense more predictable. You get more opportunities to pin your ears back and go rush. When you're trying to come back like we were so often last year, the opposing offense can do whatever the hell they want. And that makes it harder on defensive linemen to just pin their ears back and go rush. They got to worry about the run. They got to worry about, now things starting to look like play action. They got to worry about boot action. It's so many different things that they got to deal with when they're playing from behind versus playing with a lead. That's where, again, the offense, Caleb, they have to get to a space where they are setting the tone for what this game is going to be. If you're going to be that guy, if you're going to be that offense, then go be it. Not the last 2 minutes of the game, but the first 58 as well, and put your whole team in a better position to where, and that alleviates pressure on it's the kicking game, it's the defense, every decision that a coach has to make. It's a different football game when you get out there and you're up 10-0. Right? Or you up 13-3. It's a different football game. So the offense can do their part to help the defense as well.
I've been very critical of Montez Sweat because I can give a rat's ass. You give me 10 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
Right? To borrow a phrase from our old Uncle Hawk Harrelson talking about home runs, don't tell me how many you get. Tell me when you get them. Right? Are you worried about Montez Sweat in the third and fourth quarter? Nope. Is he showing up in the third and fourth quarter? Nope. Micah Parsons, you worry about him? Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
So you were about him for 4 quarters.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's literally a night and day. And I give him credit. Remember at he had a sack on the last play of one of the Packers games.
Yeah.
End of the game. I was like, perfect. This is what we need. I need in the third and fourth quarter, like, okay, we got along. Oh shit. And I was the third and fourth quarter. We gotta know where he's at, and we gotta double team him. He's not getting double teamed enough. You're making $100 million. Come on, dog. They need to be double teaming you, and you're not doing that. He had one sack with one of the first Packer game he had in the first drive, and that's it. Okay, that's great. I'll take it, but give it to me when we need it. Give it to me at the end of the game. Give it to me on a key drive where they're going to tie or try to go ahead of the game, and they can't stop you. That's my issue with him.
Closer.
Yeah, in the locker room, he was just a really cool, chill, laid-back guy, and sometimes I didn't get that dog from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't get that from him, and I wish he adjusted his mindset. Like in the fourth quarter, y'all gonna have to double team me, because if he does that and he makes that mind switch, woo, Charlie, because he got the talent. He's got the talent. You
gotta hope a lot for this defensive line, right? You banking on a lot of you want Booker to take the next step. I think he will. You want GervonDexter in a contract year to finally complete his entire game of what we think he could be and should be, right? You see the flashes of it from him often. You want him to be able to complete the whole package. You want him to be able to recover fumbles, Dex. But anyway,
Grady Jarrett finally
you want Grady Jarrett to be healthy and show the explosiveness that he's shown, throughout his career. You're hoping that Dio Dangbo is whatever you thought he was when you gave him $48 million. Like, he came in, he had the one sack in his first game, and then it was nothing.
That was it.
Right? I didn't have high expectations of him coming into the season. He did nothing to make me think differently about that now, and he's coming off of an Achilles, which I commend him for, because he was out there in the spring still running around, still participating, which was like quick to me. I ruptured my Achilles, snapped it in half, and it was a good 8 months before I was just ready to just feel like regular again, let alone go play some NFL football, right? So I give him a ton of credit for that. I don't know the severity of his injury, but to see him back out there running around as quickly was impressive. But they're hoping, again, you're hoping on that. You're hoping that Shamar Turner can come back and be who you thought he could be
first, and then
Pupless. Don't get me started. Him being back on it, Kyler
Gordon. Dude, I just went on a diatribe on Kyler Gordon. Like, how much do you love the goddamn game? Because you keep having it's a knee, it's a hamstring, a thigh, a quad, a rib, a this, or that. Like, come on, bro. Like, why don't you just sit in and stretch you're a dancer. Don't you stretch? Don't you stretch, bro? I mean, ain't you supposed to be flexible as a dancer? What the hell? Every year is something with that Joker.
It's always something that pops up, and it's these soft tissue things, and it's like they tend to nag and linger, and then you re-aggravate them, and it's like, yo, like what is up, man? I love Kyler. He's one of my absolute favorite players on the team. And he's a really good player too when he's on the field. Like when he's on the field, he's a difference maker. The idea of having Kobe and Dylan and Kyler on the field at the same time
And
is
Thieneman.
like, yeah, that's why I said Kobe and Dylan and Kyler is like, it's mind blowing what a defensive mind like DA could do with those three guys, right? You talk about that pre-snap picture that quarterbacks take when they come to the line of scrimmage, and then how you can rotate that thing and give them a completely different picture post-snap with those three dudes. Oh my God, it's a problem. So it's just so frustrating that he can't stay on the field because he's a really, really good player, very dynamic, can cover in man coverage, can come off the corner and blitz, can support in the run game. He's got to stay healthy. He's got to be on the field. Seeing him start camp on pup was very, very disappointing.
Dude, DA is looking because you can go nickel or dime. It could literally be a dime when you got all five defensive backs, the two corners, Kyler, and the two safeties can both cover. So now you literally have a dime package, and they are not afraid to support in the run game. To talk about
and Devin Bush can cover.
And Devin Bush can cover. So like you just take out TJ Edwards, Devin Bush. You know what I'm saying? Like Dennis Allen's probably like, I'm sure he wants to kick him in the ass. Like, dude, get healthy. You know how many games we can have, how much fun we can have with you healthy, and all five of my DBs can cover all of them.
It's nasty, man. You got that could create a huge problem. I know they went and got Malik Muhammad, and I'm sure he's going to get cross-trained to play outside and inside. But I want Kyler. I know he's one of the very best nickels in the league if he's healthy. I want that guy on the field, man. I want that guy on the field. We'll see how soon he can get back and then how long he can stay on.
Ain't that the truth? Man, Herb, great stuff as always, man. I really appreciate your time. Do me a huge favor. Let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
Yeah, no doubt. You can definitely follow me on Twitter, Herb Howard 411. TheBigs.us is the website. The Bigs Media is the YouTube page. We'll have tons of things going up throughout training camp as well. Got another. We'll be dropping some news here in the next couple of days about another thing that we're going to be doing throughout training camp, which we're really excited about. Be another good way to catch up with the Bigs content and what I'm doing out there at camp. So it's going to be a very, very fun camp. I'm going to put out a poll later on today on my Twitter for who Bears fans think should be the subject of my daily meter during training camp. I always put a daily meter on one player, going back to like Chase Claypool and then Dio Dangbo. I'm going to figure out who that player is going to be this year. I'm going to put a poll out and give the whole Bears Nation some input on who that guy should be. It'll either be Gary Bradbury, Braxton Jones, Dio Dangbo, Tyreek Stevenson. There was one other. I can't remember who it was, but
I'd say Thieneman. Give me a vote for Thieneman. See how he progresses.
No, he's gonna be fine, and everybody's gonna put out a million reports on him every day anyway. He's the first round
pick. You're right,
and he's gonna be fine. Like he's gonna be fine. As soon I don't know if he takes the first team reps day one. I would. I love Elijah Hicks. He's a cool dude, but he's been a backup the majority of his career for a reason. Every time his number's been called, he showed up and played serviceable football for them. But you drafted Dylan in the first round. Let's get him ready. Let's get him going. So I'm not super concerned about that. When I do my meter, there's usually a guy who, if he performs at a high level, if he becomes a significant contributor, it could be really, really good for the Bears. But I'm not sure that he will. You know what I mean? It's that type of player. So I keep my eye on them every day to see, whether they're trending this way or not. So we'll see who it's going to be. But I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a really, really fun camp.
Man, that should be fun. I'll make sure I keep checking out on Twitter. Find that poll. Yeah. Man, again, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it, man. We will talk soon, and bear the fuck down, bro. I am fired up, bro. I am fired up.
Always a pleasure, brother. Thanks for having me, man.
All right, thanks for your time, bro. Appreciate it. Guys, that's Herb Howard from the Bigs talking Bears football. I am fired up. I got goosebumps on my arm just thinking about Dennis Allen being able to play so many games with his different receivers, his different DBs. As a former defensive coordinator, my mind went is going crazy thinking about the amount of coverages, disguise coverages, blitzes, all the things you can do to with such versatile defensive backs. Got me fired up. Yes, I was a running back my entire career, but my coaching career, at the end of the last third of it, I was a defensive coordinator. So looking at the game from that perspective, whew, I am fired up about it. Man, Don Burr is back, baby. Detroit versus everybody. Good to have you back, buddy. Hey, you good? So I got a question, Don. Just quick question. Do you ever watch the Detroit Lion games with Big Meech? I'm just asking the question. I don't. If you don't know who Big Meech is, you ain't a real Detroit Lions fan. You ain't from the D. You ain't from the D if you don't know who Big Meech is. So let me know, Don. Ever watch a game with Big Meech? Anyway, listen. Great stuff today by my guy Herb. That was awesome. I appreciate it. We got to talk football. I love talking football with Herb. You know, Herb played, and it's said Big Meech watched from jail. I like freedom. I thought Big Meech was out. No, it was the Terry that's out. I thought they were both out. I'm happy. I'm impressed that you know about Big Meech, Don. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Oh man, but that was great stuff. Well, my guy Herb Howard, what a week. All right, my White Sox are 2.5 games up in first place. Cubs are not in first place. Rookies have reported, quarterbacks have reported, veterans are going to report tomorrow. Wow. Good week. Kaner's back with the Hawks. Caleb Wilson is the number 1 draft pick for our Bulls. I think that was you. Wasn't that you, King Booker World, that said it's about time for a sports resurgence in Chicago? A renaissance, so to speak. A renaissance, but a sports resurgence here in the Chi, and we deserve it. We deserve it. The 3rd largest market in the country. A rich history with all of our teams, and it's just fun. Like I was telling her, the wait for Bears football didn't seem as long because my White Sox were battling for first, fighting for first all season long. All season long. They started off 1-5, and it looked like ho-hum, another terrible year. But if you remember, I said, listen, relax. It's the first 2 series of the season. They got swept by Milwaukee, and then went 1-2 the next series. It's 1-5. And I was like, hey, it's a long season. It's 6 games. There's 156 games left. All right. So let's sit back and chill and watch it play out, because of what I saw the second half of last year when they wouldn't quit. They played all 27. The hustle, the desire was there. The passion was there. The love of the game was there. I saw it, and I'm like, I can't wait for them next year. They just got off they started off slow. And man, I mean, imagine if they had just taken one more game from Milwaukee in that series. We'd be 3.5 games up. Okay. 3.5 games up, but we didn't. So we're 2.5 games up, and I'll take it. We got our good guys have a tough 4-game stretch coming up, but it's not as tough as people think. What did Herd and I talk about when people talk about strength of schedule? Aaron Judge is out injured. Stanton is out injured, and Bellinger is out injured. You got 3 big boppers out. I'm not saying that the New York Yankees cannot be a formidable opponent without those 3. I'm not saying that. They're just a much more formidable opponent with those 3 in the lineup. And believe me, if you told me that I could play the Yankees for 4 without those 3, I'm taking it every day and twice on Sunday. So now it's up to us, the White Sox, to make sure that they go in and not say, oh, well, Judge isn't playing, Giancarlo Stanton's not playing, Bellinger's not playing. Oh, it's easy. No, it's not. I need them to go in there and continue to fight for your respect. Make people respect you. Go into that game and you make people respect you every single game. Doesn't matter. Okay? You go into that game every single time, every game, every day, focused. Continue to be a good defensive team. Do not give teams extra outs. Do not cause error. Do not make silly errors. Do not make bad base running decisions. Small things. Hit the cutoff man. This is what got us here. All right. Change your approach with 2 strikes. Just look to make contact. Let's not look to drive it out of the ballpark unless you get a hanging curveball or a cookie right down the middle. But that would be determined as that pitch is coming. We'll take a different approach. As Gabe Wilkins and I talked, when Chase Mydroff, I sent him a video. Let me see. Oh, I can't pull it up because I can't send it. Son of a biscuit. Where we talked about, they were talking on the air. About Chase Mydroff and how his approach with 2 strikes. And I sent that to Gabe, and I'm like, this is exactly what we were talking about. Exactly what we were talking about, changing your approach. Like now you're looking for contact. You're not looking to drive. Just give me contact. Just give me contact. Look to drive the ball. Don't look to knock the cover off the ball. Just look to drive it. King Booker says someone on here called the Mooney rocket taking off. I just said, man, I'm counting the days. I knew it was coming. Don Burr says prayers up for Eric Bieniemy's wife. That's a crazy situation. Her own son did that. Wow, I didn't hear about that. You must have got some more information than I did. So they heard. Oh, snap. Here it is. Nate Taylor. The same person who broke the story says sources, wife of Chiefs Eric Bieniemy shot by the couple's son. Lord have mercy. Elijah Zion Bieniemy was arrested and charged with malicious wounding, use of a firearm, and commission of a felony, and discharge of a firearm inside of a dwelling, according to the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office. Sources told ESPN. She was shot in the chest and the arm. He's being held without bond at a detention center in Loudoun County, according to police. Good. Also, Eric Bieniemy left Chiefs training camp and was not in attendance for Monday's practice. He was with the Chiefs on Sunday in St. Joseph for their second practice. Damn. Wow. You said her son. That's effed up. It damn sure is. Yeah, sure. I think you joined a little later, right after I had that news. That was the top of the morning topic because it broke this morning. So, shaking my head too, Junior. That was crazy. Well, man, big shout out to my guy Herb Howard. I want to say thank you for coming on, talking Bears football with me. I want to thank you guys for the love and support you give me every single show. All right, please be sure to hit the like button. Please be sure to share it. Tell your peoples about it. Okay. We got to get more subscribers. I have a lot of things that I want to do this year. We need more subscribers and more bigger. We need Sports Zone Chicago to finally take off and do so I can do the things that I wanted to do with this platform for a long time. Okay. Don't forget today, 12:15, Lakina McGee and Sydney Brown with Second City Sports from 12:15 to 2:15. Take you on another tour of Chicago sports for 2 hours. And then I'll be back on Wednesday. 9 a.m. to 11 Central Time. All right. So do me a favor. Yeah, she didn't know it was her son either till Don said something. I went back to ESPN and they updated it because when they initially said they didn't have who shot him. And then now after the update, it said it was their son. It was Eric and Mia's son who shot the mom. Wow. Thank you, Don. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Good luck to you, your platform, Shawn. I hit that like button. Yeah, hit that like button, guys. I'd greatly appreciate it. Smash that like button. It'd be because I have huge plans for us this year. All right, huge plans for Sports Zone Chicago and us this year. So it's supposed to hit 90s plus today. It's 81 and overcast out here. It was supposed to be a storm around 10 and then a storm later this afternoon. It's more stormy than looking like 90. Shorty says, great show, Shawn. I needed this today. God damn it, I missed my dog. I'll keep you in my prayers, man. I'll keep you in my prayers. All right. Pet owners, you know, their pets become part of the family. And yeah, again, I'll keep you in my prayers, brother. All right. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Have a phenomenal day. See you on Wednesday. Your boy is out.
Come on, laced up,